Welcome to Monkey and Frank. My name is Doe and my body is Tom, and I wanted to talk to you about a few dreams that I had last night, which didn't really make sense, but I'm going to explore on what they were trying to tell me. The first dream was I was in a prison, and I was a prison guard, and there was two factions in the prison, and they were separated. And as a guard, I was respecting both sides, and it was weird. Like, I was not afraid, but I could see that people would stab each other right in the kidney. That was like the preferred method of stabbing. So I was always watching out for their hands as they were getting close to me, but I was not afraid of them, and I was cool with them, but there was always an air of caution. And then at one point during the dream, there was a couple of guys from one faction that needed to move into the other faction's dormitory or something like that. And I jumped up kind of like on a platform that was higher, and I remember just watching from above. And I knew that the ritual was that when that happens, they have to fight. They kind of, I don't know, they had to fight. It was like a common thing and it was like both sides knew what was happening. It was going to happen no matter what. And then I saw that there were like 5 on the other faction that came into the other house, and the other house was packed. And for whatever reason, they decided to kind of separate, where 2 of them went kind of on their own. I was thinking, like, man, you know that you guys are going to fight, so why don't you stick together? You're going to have a better chance of kind of surviving this chaos. But whatever, they do what they do. And so now the house kind of jumped on these 2 guys that had separated, and they was trying to fight, and there was knife. And I remember being like, hey guys, not too rough, as if I was a dad to freaking adult prisoners. Hey, not too rough. Like, and the other 2 were getting their ass kicked, kind of as you would expect. And that was kind of the dream, or just the fact that I was a security guard in a prison. I've never had a dream like that before. And when I woke up, it was odd, because I was like, did I ever experience that in my previous lives? Did I ever witnessed that type of behavior? No, not really. I mean, I did watch prison shows, back way then, but why would it be in my awareness that night, right? It didn't really make sense. And then there was another dream where I was with my family, and we were in a room, and we knew that everybody had the possibility of COVID. I knew that COVID was there, so everybody was wearing masks, but we were way too crowded. And there was an alien kind of on display in front of us that was getting a lap dance from this woman. And at the beginning, I thought that the woman was my wife, so I just kind of allowed it, because why not, kind of thing. And then I realized that this woman was not my wife, and I'm like, oh shit, what was that? What was I staring at? Like, because I was looking, I was like, oh man, beautiful, right? And what she was wearing was like this little white leathery thing, strappy, that was really sexy. And when I realized it wasn't my wife, I'm like, what the, oh shit, all right. And then I look around, and my wife is gone with the family. And I'm like, all right. So I get up and I get out of that place, and I walk into a restaurant, and I see my wife, and I tell her, like, oh man, I thought that you were the woman inside. She's like, yeah, no problem, no big deal. And I was like, all right. And that was one dream. That was another dream. And again, I woke up like, okay, what does this mean? Am I doing work here? Am I just, what's going on? Because obviously I have a great relationship when it comes to trust with my wife, and I'm good. But that was just odd. The fact that there was an alien that was getting a lap dance from this woman who I thought was my wife. Turned out that she was not, but she was a very beautiful woman. And I did feel like, wow, that was amazing. Like, good job, alien, kind of thing. And then I walk out and I meet my wife in the restaurant. And then before that, I had the dream where I was a security guard. It was just odd. Oh, yeah. Before going to bed, not that it matters, it's not even correlated, but I did the Wim Hof breathing using only my nostrils because I really want to work on expanding my nose so that I kind of train my body to breathe with my nose at night, because I'd noticed that in the past, it'd be a couple of weeks ago, I've always done the Wim Hof breathing with my mouth, and often I wake up in the middle of the night and my nose is blocked and I'm just breathing from my mouth. So I've been trying to train my nasal passages to, that's how I want to sleep. I want to sleep by breathing through my nose. And I've been doing the Wim Hof breathing now in a couple of nights in a row by just using the nose. And I have to admit that it's a lot harder because I feel like the right side of my nose is blocked all the time. But I've got this sensation that the more I train it, the more it's gonna expand and grow, and like not the muscles, but the bones or whatever is inside my nose is gonna fix itself by just putting an awareness on it. But anyways, doing the Wim Hof breathing with your nose is something else. It requires so much effort, but I was able to reach 240, 253 minutes holding my breaths, and it's really profound. But there is a force that you need to do, and to expand your lung fully with the nose is something else. It really takes a lot more time, but when you get into the rhythm, it feels amazing because it allows you to not exhale fully. I don't know how to explain it. So it makes it easier for you to let go and take a deep breath in. Let go, take a deep breath in, because when you breathe from the nose, the expansion of your lungs behaves totally different than if you would be breathing from your mouth. And I'm surprised by that. But there is an intensity. And as I'm doing the breathing, I'm always thinking of the Gracie dude from the documentary Choke, where he does the fire breath or whatever, and then he holds his breath and pulls in his stomach and massages his organs. If you've never seen that, it's something else, man. Just that part where he's breathing. They show a little bit of that breathing with the movie The Hulk. Not the first one, but the second one with Edward Norton. That's the same guy in the movie, the Gracie dude, that is teaching Edward Norton how to breathe and how to hold his anger in, and then he slaps him in the face. Same guy. It's fucking epic how he breathes. And I want to get there, but you can tell, like, that guy's been doing it so long that when he does that breathing through the nose, like every fucking time, the sorry, his nostrils are huge, like a fucking gorilla, and it's really, really cool. Personally, I really, if I would have nostrils like that, I'd be super stoked that I could be able to breathe the way he does. And yeah. So yeah, where was I? I totally got distracted by that noise, and sorry about that. I'm gonna have to remember to put my phone on silence. But I love the shame that's rising inside of me. If I take 2 seconds and really embrace it, like the proper way, like as if my feelings is a lotus flower and I let it explode instead of just being angry at it. I've been really focusing on that in the last few days, that if I get upset, that I really see my feelings as a flower and I let it bloom. I really let it expand and grow inside my body, and it becomes a feeling more than just a feeling. No, it becomes a sensation more than just a feeling. Like it really takes over my body, and my body goes through a sensation feeling as if I'm going through a panic attack, but a controlled, loving panic attack. It's allowing it. It's the same thing as I discussed in the previous podcast of, like, a panic attack for me, now that I realize it after going to Peru, is just your feelings are so extreme and they're so hyped up that they take over your entire body, but when you're afraid of it, it feels like you're dying. But if you surrender to it, like when I'm doing it on purpose, where I'm opening up my feelings like a lotus flower, it the sensation feels the same as a panic attack, but more like a mushroom trip. Instead of panic, it feels like you're tripping on psychedelics, and your cells are just like firing on all cylinders, and it feels pretty fucking cool, actually. It feels like water running over your shoulder to your legs vibrating, your arms vibrating. It's just amazing. Yeah. And today I was having a conversation with a friend, and she had a conversation with another friend, and she was trying to explain to that friend that, you know, in the perception of spirituality, everything is perfect, right? If you trust God, like Hanuman, trust God, and even if God would turn off the light, meaning if he would kill all of us and there would be no more light in this universe, we have to trust that he's doing it for a purpose, right? So that's the ultimate negativity, I guess. You know, if he decides to kill us all and says, you know, humans are not worth it, there's a purpose to that, and there's a learning, and we have to trust God. Well, in our lives, when it comes to cancer, suffering, you know, death, to just people being assholes to other, rape, you know, all the crazy stuff that we experience in this life, when you are in that muck, in the dirt, and like, and it's suffering and it hurts, and you're being, you know, bullied, or whatever type of suffering, you know, you broke your leg, after the fact or even during the fact, if you're able to switch on that thing inside of you that says, okay, there must be a purpose, I don't know what it is, but I trust God, I trust love, I'm just going to surrender to these feelings, and you allow those feelings to bloom inside your awareness, like I was just saying, then holy shit, like it's amazing in a weird fucking way. It's weird. And especially like sadness, like I did many ceremonies now for people that have passed away. One was my cousin. It was kind of the most epic one. But when you surrender to that crying, and you surrender to your feelings as the pain of losing the person you love so much in this life, like your fucking rock, it feels insanely amazing. And what came out of it for me was such a crazy experience of seeing my cousin as a super old warrior soul that managed to show me from his awareness how I made his life better, how I was there for him all the time, like all the things that I didn't see from his point of view. And then at the end, seeing him as older than me and putting a hand on my shoulder and telling me, I'm there for you, and now it's my turn to take care of you, because I was his older cousin. It hurt so much to feel this sadness, but because I did a ceremony, and because I turned to spirituality, and because I thought everything is perfect, there must be a reason, and blah blah blah, it turned into a fucking magical experience that I'm always going to remember. And even if I don't remember it after a while, it's an experience that I'm going to take with me after I die, because it's a connection. I feel it, like it's a love that grew between me and my cousin, even though he's no longer alive. So same thing with, you know, if your mom has cancer, or somebody you love has cancer, and you go through that experience in your ceremony room, in your altar, or even beside them, and then you, like, you know how some people do Reiki healing, I used to judge that, and now I feel like that's an experience. You know, if the other person, if you both have an experience during this moment of sadness or suffering, and you know, you do it the proper way, with the ritual, with sage, with like whatever floats your fucking boat, or just crying your heart out with the other person, of the anguish that, one will die and the other one will miss the other person and blah blah blah, and you just surrender to those feelings and you open up your heart as if you're opening up a flower inside your soul. Like, holy fucking fuck, those experiences are so magical, and not to be just dismissed. It's insane. It's almost like I don't have enough of these feelings lately, and I'm like the podcast I recorded yesterday is like feel like I'm losing spirituality. It's weird how I'm not. Like, it's just I don't have any excitement right now in my life. There's a lot of human experiences that are happening that are evoking from me a sense of frustration, and I'm sure I could get the same feeling out of frustration and anger, but I still don't have the practice. Or what if you're bored? That's the one. What if you're bored? How do you get magic from boredom? Then I would turn to maybe meditation. Yeah, I need to do that more, actually, now that I say that. Thank you, Mother, for using my voice to tell me what I need to do. Because even now, as I've got my eyes closed and I'm talking and I'm meditating on what is, it's pretty cool. It's so peaceful. And the gold light that is in my awareness is the only thing there is. And I love, as well, as I close my eyes and I focus on this flower inside my awareness. When I let it bloom, it's like I lose my head. The awareness just expands from every side of my vision when I close my eyes, and it's like a no head right away, and it feels good. I miss you so much, Frank. I wish you were here to see my children. It makes me sad that my son just turned 2 and did not have his cousins to be there to celebrate his life joy, or he doesn't have any family member because everybody's afraid. It really makes me sad. And it's because I remember you were always there for me for all of my birthday parties. You were always there for every single event that I had in my life. I mean, not every, but you were there so fucking much. And I've got so many great memories from you. And again, thank you for the courage. Yeah. My dreams are really showing me that I'm getting more and more courageous in this life and more grounded. And I can see it in my relationship with my wife. Everything is more grounded. Even though I see night and day the progress that I'm doing, I'm still so disappointed in myself for not doing more. That's something as well. It bothers me. And it's not bothering me on the daily. It's just as I'm talking, as I'm siphoning through my feelings, as I'm looking at my awareness, thing comes up like bubbles of air, and it's like, hey, you're bothered about this, you're bothered about that. But don't get it confused. Like, I don't think about it. I just don't think about it. It just, I guess that's what meditation is all about, right? To just observe what's going on in your awareness, and whatever bubbles up, to acknowledge it and say, I see you, buddy. I see you feeling. I see you, memory. It's all good. Or even if it's not all good, to really acknowledge, like, it's not good. I'm not okay. I want to have more experiences with other people. I want to create connections. I want to love. I want to be sad. It's so fucked up that I say that, but I want to be sad. I don't want to be angry. I know that my anger is just a product of my sadness, but I'm not looking at it, or I'm not talking about it with other people that I trust or love. And that's why I'm doing these podcasts, to integrate what I'm feeling. And I am feeling sad. And that's okay. Oh yeah, about that, like everything is perfect. Everything is perfect. Like today, as I was reflecting on that, we all know that, when an event happens, that it feels shitty, let's say in the moment, but then after that you're like, man, if I wouldn't have had that shitty event, I wouldn't have met this person, or I wouldn't have had this conversation, or I wouldn't have been, the butterfly effect. Just that alone, knowing that the butterfly effect exists. And as well, the idea that some days I never thought for like that I would ever be happy, as if time can stop and make you feel so shitty in the moment, and you can lose all hope, like seriously, like all hope. And then 2 weeks later something happens and it's the best day of your life, and you're like, what the fuck, how can that be? And same like when in Peru, my first 3 ceremonies were like just pure fucking shit. Like my ayahuasca ceremonies, like just shit. And the fact that Sapo was such an amazing experience, and then that same night my ayahuasca ceremony, just not that it was like, it felt like it was shit, all right? It felt like all of my traumas had been put back in my body. And to me, I was like, holy motherfucking god, like as if I paid, so much money to come here and do this. And then on the fourth ceremony, pure fucking bliss. Like, what a surprise. What a night and day difference. And to trust the process, to trust that whatever's happening in your life is for a reason. Even though it doesn't feel like it's perfect, it is, and you'll see it when you die. But for now, what the biggest concern is, maybe don't think about it as everything is perfect. Just trust the process. Trust your life. Trust the process of your life, and that it will have a reason, and you'll know that reason when you die. So just try to trust as best as possible. And if you can't trust and you're feeling shitty, well, take that shitty feeling and bloom it in your heart, and really look at it and feel it and cry or scream, but let it bloom like a flower inside your heart, so that you can really experience it, like really experience it. And it's crazy, like it's hard to explain, but like you have to look at it with your eyes, almost as if you're looking at your heart through that third eye thing. So you look at your third eye, you see your body, and you look. You really look, as if you're looking with your awareness, with your eyes, with your ears, with everything. And that's when, usually for me, and I'm getting that right now, that when I don't want to look at a feeling, I go to television, I go to a TV show, I turn to my phone, because I'm afraid to look. I'm afraid to look at my frustration, at my anger. And that's what meditation is all about. Like, you get those ideas, and then if you're not used to meditation, or even if you that's a crazy one. So meditation was not enjoyable for me until I was able to look at myself through my awareness. Before that, it was just like, like, why the fuck am I here? Why am I doing this? I see all these thoughts coming in, all these feelings, and I'm just like pushing them away. And no, okay, I don't want to, like, as if I'm not doing a good job. I'm supposed to be quiet. I'm supposed to be at peace. And not that it's the contrary, but you look with your awareness, and then meditation becomes a bliss, and enjoyable, and you could stay there forever because you're looking at it. You're not pushing anything away. You're just like, it's going through you, and you're allowing it to bubble up and become what is. And it feels so good. It's like a heart opening. Yeah, I'm rambling. I love you guys with all my heart, forever and ever. And again, thank you for listening. The healing that I go through every time that I talk is amazing. Love you guys.